People don't want to admit one fact. And like I said, I voted for Governor Bush. I did not vote for him for this. I voted for him for foreign policy because, like I told you, I think the people he's going to put himself around are much more capable of dealing with a foreign crisis. Now, any U.S. military intervention from this point in this world and beyond can lead God knows where. Now, there's a certain arrogance Governor Bush may have towards foreign leaders, but I really think he knows Colin Powell, Dick Cheney, Condoleezza Rice, these people, like I said, I just like the way George Bush, his father, handled that Gulf War situation. It was done swiftly, quickly, etc. You got Bill Clinton having sex, China stealing nuclear secrets. I don't like that. I really don't like that as far as my security in this country. I've got kids now.
George Bush's father was 20 times more intelligent and more engaged than his son. He worked, CIA, UN. He respected the federal government and its employees.
Yeah, the president
run on an anti-government platform. He built a nice coalition.
And he's still alive to give advice to his son when that issue arises.
Yeah.
And I think that advice is going to, it's crucial. I'm not voting for the President of the United States to raise the minimum wage $1 over the next 2 years. I mean, the Democrats, they actually get 3 to 5 million votes just by saying that. That's not the president's job to me. The president's job is to manage a foreign crisis, period. Who the hell is behind that damn trigger and when to use it? I just think the sternness, the common sense that Colin Powell and these people have is what we need to make sure we send a message to foreign countries and within the realms of our own country that we have a good coalition together.
Colin Powell was heavily criticized, I guess after the fact, in terms of his position in the Gulf War. If you think that was a success, he was the one arguing, don't fight. Basically, yeah, if they move into Saudi Arabia, fine, but it's not worth fighting over Kuwait. He's a very attractive figure, but it's interesting after the fact, that
like you said, after the fact.
Well, you don't hear about the internal deliberations until later, and it's interesting that he was really arguing.
Well, he's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, so his advice on what to do as far as fighting wars is something that should be recognized. But like I said, after the fact, like you said, after the fact. After the fact is this, it happened. So now, how well did it go down with what happened? I think the wellness of the way it went down and how it happened, as we know, it text of war, it went pretty smoothly.
Well,
versus the Clinton administration, my goodness.
He wasn't only concerned, as chairman of Joint Chiefs, about possible losses that his forces would suffer, although that was part of it. As a policy matter, he didn't think it was a good thing to fight for Kuwait. He was overruled. But when the decision was made, they executed it well.
Very well.
And he deserves credit as a military strategist.
That's all I'm talking about.
But if you're going to make him Secretary of State, you want to make sure you've got people who make, good judgments. At least on that, Bush, George W.'s father, and other people, in hindsight, of course, made the better choice, than Colin Powell.
Yeah, Schultz was secretary at that point, Secretary of State, wasn't he?
No. George Schultz was Secretary of State during the Reagan administration. He quit or got fired or resigned. No, Alexander Haig was the first one. Then George Schultz came in for about 80.
Secretary at that time?
Wasn't Schultz secretary at the time of
George
the
Schultz
Gulf
wasn't.
War?
You're talking about time